Okay, right now I have no idea what this podcast is going to be about, apart from I am sitting here stressing, I'm sitting here feeling anxious, I'm feeling like as if the whole world is going wrong. You know those types of feeling when you're a child and you know you've done something wrong, or you think you've done something wrong, and your parents are about to burst in and they're going to shout at you and the whole world's going to find out that you just nicked the biscuits. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling right now. 47 years old, sitting here, and I help people all over the world have less anxiety, less overwhelm. I help people all over the world find that stillness in the storms, hence the name of my podcast. And yet here I am, browsing through YouTube, watching things that I have no interest in whatsoever. I just found myself a moment ago watching someone play a video game. I don't even care for the video game. I'm not bothered about it at all, but I was sitting there watching it, admiring the graphics, I was avoiding life. And now I'm recording a podcast telling you because we're all in this. We all do this. Even teachers, even people that from the outside, when you're looking at them, when it seems like their whole life is sorted, it probably isn't. It's just they've learned better ways to cope with different things than maybe you have at the moment. That's all. We're just 2 or 3 pages, we may be a chapter ahead. That's all. And only on some things. Some things we're ahead, some things we're behind. But the reason why I help people with anxiety and stress is because I suffer from those things too. And this podcast, I guess, is going to share what I do when I suffer from those things. So my day has been essentially pretty good. There hasn't been anything that would suggest why I'm feeling like this. And I was coming up to lunchtime and I had my lunch and everything. And after lunch, I was coming up to do my live on Facebook, and I go live every day with a guided meditation, or at least weekdays, about 2 p.m. UK time. And I had my usual problem and I had to go back on the bed. Now, I'm paralysed just below my neck, and so my carers had to help me out and sort me out. But here's the thing. Everything's fine now. That's dealt with and sorted. And I'm terrified. I'm like, I want to hide away. I want to pull the curtains and turn off the lights and just say, I'll do it tomorrow. I can't deal with this today. So I've decided to, instead of carrying on YouTube, avoiding my emails like I was doing, I was reading the emails, but I wasn't even reading them. I was bringing up the Gmail, and I wasn't even opening them. I was kind of looking for a nice one. I was avoiding the others that I need to reply to. And I'm laughing about it now. I can now see it. But I've been doing this for the last couple of hours or so. Just completely avoiding life. And it's really funny when we catch ourselves doing it. And that's the whole work, is catching ourselves when we're doing it. This is what's going on in my life. This is what's happening right now. Am I being the best possible version of myself right now? Am I putting all those tools into place that I know better? And I wasn't. I was staying on YouTube, doing my thing, avoiding everything. The only thing I didn't do is go to Facebook. That's the only thing I haven't done. And, I'm sure it would have happened within the next 5-10 minutes or so. And I would have scrolled down through and I would have made some comments on some posts. I would have put the words to right in some way like that. And I started looking at news sites and going back into the same old habitable behavior that I've done for many years. But here's the thing. I was able to observe myself doing it. And now, of course, I laugh about it, but it's quite serious. What do we do when we're feeling anxious or we're feeling like something's not right? Then, of course, in a week's time, whatever is this gut feeling that something's not right, it could be anything. Right now, my computer's really playing up and it's really annoying me and I don't know what's wrong with it. I used to have a computer shop myself and I forgot to turn the phone down to silent. You'll just have to put up with that because it's fine. I don't get that many messages. I was just thinking, can I get that out after editing? No, I'll probably leave it in. So I haven't even prepared for this podcast. I haven't even got a script up in front of me. So I thank you for your patience on this. This is real and raw. But this is life, right? If you come to this podcast all the time and I tell you how wonderful and beautiful life is and how wonderful and beautiful my life is, you're not going to believe it. You're going to be like, yeah, BS. He ain't like that all the time. No, you're right. I'm not. Today is one of those days I'm not like that. I'm feeling quite agitated. And where do I feel agitated? I feel agitated in my belly. But the thing is, it doesn't start from there. It starts with my thinking. And of course, I started to feel hot. And I was looking at the temperature in the room. I was going, well, it's 22.5 degrees in here. I shouldn't be feeling hot. I should be cold. COVID-19. Have I coughed today? Yeah, I was coughing this morning. I've got a temperature. I'm coughing. My shoulder's hurting. So I was talking myself into being poorly. And, and then, of course, I'm like sat here in the seat. I'm like, oh, my God, hold on to the seat. What's going to happen? I've only got a few days to live. So suddenly just feeling a little anxious or feeling like something's not right has turned into, I've only got a few days to live. How quickly does our mind jump to, we're going to die, help? I just wanted to share this. I just want you to know that you're not alone. These panic attacks and these stressful, anxious times, they happen to even the teachers, even the people that are doing the podcast, doing the things, putting themselves out there. I do a lot of, I meditated this morning, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Well, probably 5 minutes. The rest of it was probably thinking. But I did that this morning and I've had a wonderful good morning and I really cannot think of anything that's going wrong in my life right now. So why am I feeling like this? Perhaps sometimes there isn't a reason. Perhaps sometimes we're just, I don't know. So what do I do when I do things like this? Well, I record a podcast. Or I do something I should be doing. We know what we should be doing. Go for a walk, do some exercise, take your mind off it. And just by recording this podcast right now, I feel a whole lot better. I feel like as if I'm doing something constructive instead of sitting there in this bubble of, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I'm kind of making a joke of it, but it's really serious. It makes us feel dreadful. It paralyzes us completely. I don't know, something wrong with my USBs or something. I sold a camera and got a new camera. And the video is really jerky and there's something not right. And I'm like, I'm just so stressed about it. And really, the reality is, it's not going to mean anything in a week's time. Tomorrow I've got a part that comes that fixes it. But I'm like, I need to fix it now. I don't. I need to take a breath. That's what I need to do. Let's do that. Okay, I've done a breath. Now, how do I fix it? No, I'm joking. It's just some things you just have to wait and give it a little bit of time. Just let some things nurture and they sort themselves out. And one of the advice I always give, me and one of my carers, Sasha, we always have this mantra of things work out. Things always work out. And if they don't work out, you're dead and you didn't know it didn't work out anyway. You had no idea. No idea. It doesn't even suck to be dead because you don't know you're dead. That's how we deal with life. That's how we deal with it. And that's how I deal with it. Just recognize what we're doing, observe what we're doing, and take it lightly, laugh at it, and then you can do something with it. The problem is, if I layer on top of that anxiety and that agitation, and I layer on top of it more and more and more, I'm just getting more and more stressed, more angry, and I'm going to lash out with people. I'm going to make my life a whole lot worse. So it's a matter of just peeling back that layer and being vulnerable and going, well, do you know what? I'm feeling like crap, but I'm going to read a book. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to do my exercise. Or in this case, I'm going to record a podcast. So I've not really got much more to say on this podcast. So I'm just going to leave it there and say thank you for listening to my whims. And this is me, and this is real. And this podcast might be about finding that stillness in the storm. Well, the storms still rage, even when you sort your life out, even when you got all the tools, even when you become stoic, even when you know better and everything like that. The storms still rage. It's what we do with the storms. It's what we do in the storms that counts. And the best way is showing up for ourselves. What's the best possible version of me? What would the best possible version of me do right now? And that best possible version of me right now would record a podcast and share my story with you. So it helps you to realize that, I get anxious, I get stressed too. And that's okay. It's okay. It's what we do with it that counts. I don't know a Zen master, I don't know a teacher, I don't know anybody, even counselors and everything, that don't get stressed from time to time. It's how we carry it. But it's what we do with the load. And the more knowledge we create for ourselves, the more experiences and tools. Use them. We know what to do. Instead of running around and, I say I don't get many messages now, I do. Instead of running around and not knowing what to do, we know what to do. Take a little time out. And right now I'm going to say thank you for listening. Thank you for indulging in my little narcissistic whims for the minute and making this podcast all about me. But hopefully if you just realize that I struggle too, and if that gives you a little bit of comfort that you're doing all right. You're here, you're listening, you're showing up, you're doing all right. So leave a review. Thank you for listening and have an amazing week. I'm Steven Webb, the host of Stillness in the Storms, the podcast you're now listening to. Take care. Bye.